resupplies of ammunition, food and other equipment. As part of Future Commando Force developments, these tasks are expected to be done by drones.
Always resupply has been guys carrying stuff and running it forward from the rear echelons that bring it to a certain point. So yeah, systems like that can bridge potentially like pretty significant gaps. I mean, we're talking about flying platforms like that from shipping to then come ashore, so that could be an absolute game changer.
Depending on what they're carrying, the Molloy drones can fly up to 70 kilometres across land and sea, and in the coming years could also carry people and assist with casualty evacuation. The Royal Marines are working with commercial companies to push the boundaries of what can be done. But unpiloted aerial systems aren't just for the heavy lifting. The foundations for military operations are intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance, also known as ISR. This is the Ghost, another remotely piloted air system being developed for the Royal Marines. It can fly distances of up to 20 kilometres from the pilot and up to 3,000 feet above sea level. It can capture video footage and it also has thermal imaging cameras.
But the game changer with this is the software. A pilot can use a computer program to set instructions for the drone to follow. It can also notify the pilot of any possible threats without a person having to be constantly scanning the feeds from the drone.
With the help of industry experts, how to use this type of technology is being taught to Royal Marines and it's changing how they work. So what else can outside businesses add?
Okay, just reading that waypoint far back from the aircraft and then we'll be good to go again.
One commander to be able to control multiple drones across different domains from one single workstation, either on a warship or ashore in a tactical HQ. So what that means is that a commander can reallocate his or her resources as they see fit. They're able to see all of the products, so the video, etc., in one place, so they're getting a total picture of the battlefield rather than one operator being able to see one thing in isolation. And it also means that we're able to concentrate force as and when the commander needs to in response to a given task or threat.
The evolution taking place during Littoral Response Group experimentation in strategic locations like the Eastern Mediterranean show exactly what future missions could be like.
So I would say that LRGX is a proof of concept, and we have many civilian contractors out here, so we're right at the leading edge of technology and we can only really do it with them and integrating them into our trials. And of course providing contingent readiness, so if there was anything to happen in this region, which is relatively likely, then we would be a force in being and ready to go. So one of the biggest things that we've trialled here, and we have trialled in previous iterations in Norway, for example, has been developing a communication system that can connect the man on the ground to the ship and right back to the UK. So that provides the flow of information, whether it be intelligence or whether it be decision support information, and that in itself is a major step forwards, and we can then integrate drones or in whatever environment, whether they be in the air, on the surface or subsurface, into that system.
Littoral means a region lying along a shore, like the coast of Cyprus. Creating a communications network here and making sure it's secure is vital. Is the information captured by drones and other sources can be fed to the front line or back to the UK, meaning commando units can work at reach from their higher headquarters.
We're providing the actual warranty of the system, so actually putting the system together end to end, so we have it live here on the ground, so it can then be viewed and analysed back in the UK and all other elements in between. We've been introducing experimental equipment that Marworks have developed that provides situational awareness to the soldier on the ground, so such as camera footage, full motion video, drone footage and also situational awareness. We then bring that back into an ops room footing where that data then be processed and then pushed back forwards to troops on the ground.
The troops on the ground get the information on their new Android Tactical Assault Kit, or ATAK, a small chest-mounted tablet that can be used in all scenarios. a key advantage is using it to identify friendly forces, or blue forces as they're known.
So with the new radios and the new sort of heads-up displays that we get now, it opens up a much wider field of view. Blue force tracking, which is notoriously difficult in an urban environment, all of a sudden becomes quite simple. It's just check the screen, right, they're over there, awesome. So it's positively identifying friendly forces, which is arguably more important than identifying the enemy. It is new. It opens up a lot of the bigger picture that you wouldn't normally get. So as you're bod on the ground, you've got a fairly decent idea, because our commanders make sure that the lowest rank has an idea of what's going on. But with all the new technology, the attacks that we're using, the blue force tracking, so your absolute lowest bod now has a phenomenal idea of what's going on, which is good for us as commanders, meaning if I get taken out the fight for whatever reason, my 2IC and my men still know what the mission is, can still crack on and still complete it.
That mission could be clearing the enemy from a particular area, including an overnight insertion. As part of Future Commando Force, different sized teams are being trialled, and with all the new information that's being distributed throughout the command chain, Marines on the front line are making more and more tactical decisions.
I enjoy it. I sort of thrive under pressure, as most bootnecks do. But just so we're working in the small teams now, your 12-man teams, working outreach, behind enemy lines, limited support. It's up to the lads on the ground then, who aren't going to have time to check back. They'll make the decision on the ground with the knowledge of what hire's intent is, what the mission is, whether or not it's a go to say we're going to roll a position now, we'll hold off, HVTs, anything like that. It's daunting, but the lads are loving it.
Which is why this experimentation is taking place. The potential threats the UK faces in the 21st century are very different to those of the past, so the military needs to adapt.
We've given the 12-man teams a huge amount of autonomy. I think the chain of command at all levels has to be more comfortable knowing less now. So we have to operate at further reach, often in a comms-denied environment. So we've got all this great technology which helps build situational awareness, but at the same time we face a threat that can reduce your situational awareness and reduce your ability to communicate with your guys that are deployed. So we're putting a lot of trust in small bands of determined men, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable as a commander, but it's been reassuring this week that you can trust the guys to deliver.
Around 100 military personnel have been on the ground for about a week, trialling and testing these new technologies. But of course, it's those complexities that are just layered on top of the basic commando skills that are practiced day in, day out.
I guess the overarching lesson that I've learned this week is, even with all the additional technology, which does add great value, the basic soldiering skills is the key battle winner still. Coming in overnight last night, it's hard graft, some difficult terrain, scrambling through tunnels, under motorways, all of this sort of good stuff, and that's just good commando training, and we're just now capable of enhancing the effect that we can deliver by the new technology that we're integrating.
Building on its core foundations, whether it's new vehicles or drones, Future Commando Force is being enhanced piece by piece to shape the Royal Marines of tomorrow.
In today's world, these young Marines will expect this kind of technology. They know it exists. They know things like drones are out there, and they can see themselves how helpful that they would be in what they do. So it's the sort of thing that they will expect, and we need to give it to them. It's arguably getting harder and harder for the young Marine, where it used to just be a physical job where they would be told what to do. Now they are responsible for sophisticated equipment. They have to understand how it works, how it fits in. They have to make judgments on the battlefield with potentially strategic implications. Anyone that says it's getting easier these days doesn't fully understand what exactly we do.
The lessons learned in the Mediterranean will guide how the UK's amphibious force will operate, and there will be more experimentation to come. Bryony Williams, Forces News, Cyprus. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.